The statistics are staggering. In 2016, NYC had 1,374 overdose deaths. That's 4 drug overdoses each day, 1 death every 6 hours. In the face of this emergency, dedicated New York City public health officials and policymakers have suggested an idea that has no precedent in the United States. It's known as supervised drug consumption sites, or safe injection sites, where trained health workers provide sterile needles, treat any possible overdoses, and make connections to long-term treatment options for people who bring their own drugs, most often heroin. Here to explain how this would work and save lives is Kassandra Frederique, the New York State Director at the Drug Policy Alliance. Kassandra, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
So first, I think when people hear this idea of safe injection sites, it sounds like enabling. So explain to me how this works.
So essentially, when someone is struggling with addiction and is using intravenously, for example, we think it's really important that people have access to a space that they can come to under medical supervision, use drugs, and speak to people and be connected to resources. Safer consumption spaces are over 30 years old. They're in multiple cities around the world, and one of the most researched places is in North America, in Vancouver. And the research has shown that these places actually save so many lives. Thinking about how do we get people to a place where they're making safer decisions by stabilizing something that's already chaotic or can be chaotic. And so safer consumption spaces really give people, they act as a place where people can come to, get the resources that they need to be safer. So we're thinking about giving people sterile equipment so that people aren't sharing needles, which has always been shown to increase access to HIV or Hep C. So you're giving people clean equipment, and then you're giving people a space to use drugs under medical supervision. One of the biggest things about the overdose crisis right now is that most overdose deaths are preventable. If you give someone naloxone or you give them oxygen, this helps people come back to life. And every person that comes back to life is another person that has another chance to live and to be your loved one. And so essentially, these safer consumption spaces are a tool for people to have access to get a second chance or a third or a fourth. It gives them every day the possibility to do something different.
Well, I know that you just said that this has been tried in different countries, but I'm wondering what it does for the actual addict. And the reason why is because if people hear this, they might say, okay, well, you know, I have a loved one and they're struggling with this addiction, but if you're just giving them a place where they can go and get high safely, aren't you just making their drug addiction safe without them getting any help? So is this some place where addicts know that they can go to sort of slowly begin the transition, or explain to me what it is?
Sure. So essentially, safer consumption spaces are primarily about saving lives. And they're about centering the rights and the needs of the person that is using drugs. And so what that means is giving them the space to make choices. And so when we think about people, you know, you have a loved one and you want them to stop using and you want them to get access to treatment.
As a lot of families do.
As a lot of families do. And I think part of it is, yes, right, we want that to happen, but dead people don't recover. And so our biggest priority right now is making sure people stay alive so that they can make choices that work for them. And one of the things that safer consumption sites, what we have learned is that when people have access to a place like a safer consumption site, it increases their access to treatment. It increases their options to having conversations. Because when you go in there and you're not running away from the police, you're not hiding behind cars, you're not being rushed out of McDonald's bathroom, everything slows down. And you're using, and you have the opportunity to look around and be like, this might not be what I want. And then there's someone right there that can connect you. So when we think about naloxone, if someone overdoses in a safer consumption space, what we know is that people bring people back using naloxone. Someone comes back, and often people leave. But if you overdose in a safer consumption site, there's someone right there, and that person's gonna talk to you and ask you, you know, what are the choices that you're making? How can you do something different? Are you interested in treatment? Are you interested in medication-assisted treatment? Here are the resources that we have there. So it's right there on the spot, giving people continuous options about the choices that they're making. And that's something that's important. And the reason why I pause and say these places are solely about saving lives is because that's their main function.
Okay.
But there are bonus things that come with it. Research has shown that people there's the people that are associated with a safer consumption site are more likely to be in treatment than people that are not.
Oh.
It shows that the places where have safer consumption sites, in Vancouver, for example, the surrounding area, the overdose rate went down 35%.
Is this more because the idea of going into treatment or getting treatment comes more actually from the addict themselves and not from family members, perhaps, and very understandably, but holding an intervention because they're so desperate to get this person to get help?
I think one of the hardest things about people that struggle with addiction and problematic drug use is that oftentimes, because they're using drugs, people feel like they can't make their own choices. And I think that's really hard for family members who don't agree with their choices.
Well, I was going to say, because that's the first thing a family member is going to say, well, they already made this horrific choice. Why would I continue to let this person make even more choices when they've proven their choice record is not good?
And so as someone who's a social worker, what we know is that you have to meet people where they're at. And we can't make choices for people based on what we think they should do. We have to give people space and resources and believe that they have the ability to be better and to make safer choices. The conversation that we're talking about is rooted in a concept around harm reduction. How do we reduce the harms associated with potentially risky behavior?
All right, well, and that is an excellent point, but I do want to ask, you're with the state. What is the likelihood of us seeing something like this in New York State?
So one of the things that we've been working with other organizations like Vocal New York and Harm Reduction Coalition is really pushing for safer consumption sites in New York. And last year, actually in 2016, the New York City Council granted the Department of Health $100,000 to do a safer consumption feasibility study to figure out how this would work in New York. And that report is done, and we're waiting for the Mayor de Blasio to release the report to say how this could happen. And so we're really pushing on the mayor because that report was due in November. And so advocates are really increasing the pressure and saying, like, every day that this report doesn't come out is another life loss.
All right, so waiting on Mayor de Blasio.
We're waiting on Mayor de
forward.
Blasio, and the State Department of Health has said that they're investigating this. And so advocates are really pushing for state elected officials to really push this forward. Assemblywoman Linda Rosenthal introduced a piece of legislation that would create safer consumption sites in New York.
Okay.
And so that's a lot of the things that we're focusing on pushing Mayor de Blasio to release the report, pushing for the legislation that Assemblymember Linda Rosenthal issued, and pushing Governor Cuomo to take action similar to...
Okay, and very quickly, given that this is a big election year, is this something that you're hoping to keep in the public consciousness? Yeah,
this is a huge issue. Most overdose deaths are preventable, and there are public health interventions that can save lives, just like safer consumption spaces. And New York needs to take the leadership, just like Philadelphia and San Francisco.
Okay, well, listen, Kassandra Frederique, thank you so much for bringing this new issue to the table, at least when it comes to treatment, and we'll look forward to seeing how this develops.
All right, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.